Alright, what's happening, guys? Back with De Bello Gallico, Book 5, Chapter 47. Alright, we've got a... I'm on now. Sweet, okay, so we need an nest right there. He was made, Facta says, he was made. Caratior, we've got the comparative right there. He was made more certain. Day Crassid went to about the arrival of Crassus Antecurabus, literally the forerunners, by the scouts. Tertiora. Around the third hour. And if you recall, the hours they start at sunrise. So this is around 10 a.m. And ablative of time, so we need to put some marks over that guy. On that day, AODA, Milia Passuum Vigenti. So this actually, 1,000 paces is going to equal a mile. On that day, he proceeds. $20 miles. Alright, and this praefixator is an interesting word. It puts accusative in charge of dative. So praefixator, he puts accusative, which is the crossum. He puts Crassus in charge of Semerobriva. And attribuit legionem and assigns a legion. Quod, this one's going to be a because. And if you notice, this whole section's a bit of a doozy, but that's okay. It's not as bad as the one coming up. Because... Woo! Okay, so... Here to here, there's our verb. Because he was leaving. He was leaving there. Ibi is there, the impedimenta exercitus, the baggage of the army. Obsides civitatem, the hostages of the states. The public letters, litteris publicus. And that could even become documents. Frumentum quamne, and all the grain. Now, this quote is a relative pronoun going with grain. So you got the accusatives there. Which... And then ND plus casa, which he had brought down. Casa plus ND in order to endure the winter. EMAs. AO there, or in that place. Woo! Alright, so And that's Strund of a Purpose. Alright, we got Fabius now. As it had been ordered. And then the Moratas, and this is deponent for Morior. Having delayed, and the wording's a little weird here, having delayed non tumultum, not so much. Occurrit, and then occurrence meets in itinerary, en route, and maybe I should actually, whoa, okay. Meets him en route, on the journey, cum legione, with the legion. So if you notice, like, Caesar's getting on this business because he's worried. Now, Labienus. Alright, and then you've got an Abbot of Absolute going on there, as well as a really bad bracket set, so you enjoy that. And I don't know, with the Interritudes usually like destruction, but we'll go with it. With the destruction of Sabinus, and it's an interesting word. Like, it's like in complete downfall. Like, it's, you started on the top and then you just boom plummeted. It's not a good way of describing him. He's still bitter, and with the slaughter of the cohorts. Having been known. So Labienus, Abbot of Absolute, blah, 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 blah. And if you notice, we don't have a period until... Right. Basically the end. Is it the end? Oh, geez, the end. Yeah, we got a doozy. We got a doozy. Okay. When? Alright, Omnes is modifying Copiae. When all the forces of the Trevery had come to him, when is set, pluperfect, subjunctive. Alright, now this Veritas is modifying Labienus. Remember, this sentence ain't over. Labienus, having feared. If fecissit, pluperfect. If he had made a profectionem, a departure, ex Ibernes, from his wintry camp, this is going to be dative with adjective. Similem is the adjective there. Had made a departure similar to an escape or a flight. That ut And then the Veritas there, it's from Warior. Warior is setting up this fear clause here. That he might not be able. So the ut, you fear that you want it to happen. You fear that it may not. Fear that he might not be able to sustain the attack of the enemies. Praesertum, especially, quotes whom he knew, Skiret, he knew, and we're going to spell it right this time, go team, whom he knew, effere, present passive infinitive, whom he knew, to be lifted, recentu victoria, from a recent victory. Woo! Okay, now, Labienus. We're still dealing with this guy. Sends a letter. And the Ray there is back. Sends her a letter. Returns a letter. Sends a letter to Caesar. Alright, and you kind of have to imply a say in there. Quanto's going with Periculo. With how great a danger Edictor says he would lead the legion Exobernice out of the camp, out of the wintry camp. So he's telling him, he's worried about, how much problems it'll cause if he leads his people out of the camp, especially with everything that's gone on and knowing about Sabinus. Prescribit, he writes in details. He writes around the situation. Gestam is a perfect passive participle, having been carried on, having happened. In Eberones. Ain't done with the sentence yet. The grind doesn't stop. Doket, he teaches that or shows that. Alright, we got ourselves some indirect statement. Omnis copios, and we're going to put some long marks there. He shows that all the forces of Equitatus, Peditatus, whoopsie, all the forces of cavalry and infantry, of footmen, Trevorworm of the Trevory. Considese is a perfect active infinitive. Have settled. And we've got this mile thing. 3 miles from his camp. Alright, so Labienus, he's a bit worried, especially when he hears what had gone on with Sabinus and Cotta. And if you recall, they were settled 2 miles away. He knows that they're 3 miles away from the scouts, and so he's worried that the same thing will happen. But going back to the beginning of this, Caesar is making some decisions, and he's going to try to get some help where it need be.